Hello everyone and welcome to New York Empoleon's Week 9 Battle of the APA Evolution League against A12 QSD and the Arkham City Delibirds. We are 6-2 looking to keep our commanding lead in this league, but we have... Now, I don't usually post-com, right? I usually do live-com things, and so I don't usually have the ability to spoil anything, but this... Strap in, everybody. This is a doozy of a battle. So, right off the bat, what we're looking at is that he's got the Diggersby, Clefable, Thundurus T, Volcanion, Crobat, and the Foongus. Normally, what I would do is I would lead off with my Druddigon. I would just go straight for a Glare if he led off with Diggersby, or Rocks otherwise. He doesn't have the Latias, which was easily his most spammable defogger, so Crobat has to have it. I know he has to have defog, so it has to be on Crobat this week. It's not going to be on Thundurus. And so I know that that's going to be there, so I do have to, I want to scout that, but look at his team. He's got 3 Mons right in the middle there that are weak to Rocks, and just getting them up would be incredibly useful. But looking at his team, I also was pretty worried that he was going to lead with the Clefable, predicting the Druddigon lead, or lead with the Crobat, which would be annoying for my Druddigon because it could have Taunt, things like that. So I decided to actually lead with my Nidoqueen, and right off the bat, we're going to see the way this battle is going to go. So I lead off with my Nidoqueen as he chooses to lead off with his Foongus. And, okay. Sorry, I'm emotional. I'm emotional right now. This battle was a lot. So he leads off with his Foongus, and I know he's going to Spore. I know first turn he's going to click Spore. I do not want my Nidoqueen asleep. This thing is way too valuable to be asleep right now. So I'm going to go right into Ditto, which is immune to the Spore. That is, there's no other option, and that's exactly what he does. He does go for the Spore here. As my Ditto comes in, now I see his full set, which is Toxic, Stun Spore, Spore, and Foul Play. And I was like, wow, that's a set. Okay. I don't really want to stay in here and just Foul Play War the whole way through, so I'm actually going to go out into my Rotom. He makes the good read here and just goes for another Spore at this point, getting my Rotom to fall asleep as I do switch it in. Now, Rotom was the thing I was okay with sleeping the most. It doesn't have removal. It doesn't have, it really wasn't that useful this week except as a soft Diggersby check, and Zard Y, which isn't even here. So, honestly, I have better answers to pretty much everything on his team. If he didn't go for Spore, if he went for Foul Play, then Rotom's going to take a little bit of damage. I could be able to freely click Will-O-Wisp or Light Screen or something and just kind of go from there. My Rotom could do the things it was supposed to do. But instead, I do fall asleep. Now, I am going to stay asleep here as we are going to see that he is going to click Stun Spore, expecting me to switch out, but I don't, and so that's 1 turn of sleep. There's 2 turns of sleep that we're going to burn, and at this point, he's just going to click Spore again to try to put me back to sleep, and then we're going to see, oh yeah, Rotom's got full 3 turns of sleep, which is amazing as he clicks Spore again, or Stun Spore again, excuse me. Trying to again predict a switch out. This time I'm guaranteed to wake up, so I am going to be able to just click Will-O-Wisp and try to burn this thing to whittle it down. Even if anything at all is going to be good damage, as he does go immediately for that Spore again. And Rotom is just asleep now. I can just try to do things. So Rotom is going to try to wake up here. Obviously first turn guaranteed sleep, so I'm not too worried about it. And Diggersby's in here. I'm going to go out into my Druddigon since that is my Diggersby, a Diggersby answer, as he actually sets up a substitute, and I was like, oh no, okay. Sub Diggersby is a problem. Regular Diggersby without sub is also a problem, but we are going to have to handle this sub Diggersby. I was actually pretty sure I might have just lost right then and right there, depending on what moves he had. If he did have dual stabs, then Rotom was fine. He goes for the Swords Dance, which is terrifying as I set my Stealth Rocks up. And that means he can take me out with Return or an Earthquake, and I don't want to just let that happen. So I am just going to go straight out into the Rotom, as we are going to see him go for that Return. Rotom is going to stay asleep, and we are going to actually see the leftovers just taking his Diggersby back up towards full health. And this is not a Diggersby I was expecting at all. But if he does have EQ, he cannot hit my Rotom. So I'm like, all right, let's just see. Let's scout out what his last move is, and I stay asleep. I don't get my Hidden Power Ice off to break the sub, and we do see the Fire Punch. That's 2 turns of sleep, and last time I got max sleep, so this time I'm like, all right, let's just get 2 turns of sleep. We'll be okay. And he's back up to pretty much full. I'll break his substitute. When I wake up, I stayed asleep. So, max 3 turns of sleep, twice on my Rotom. That thing goes down. It does nothing but burn the Foongus, and his Diggersby is still behind a substitute. I know that Scizor has the Focus Sash. I can break the sub with a Bullet Punch, so I'm going to just go straight for that. I need this sub broken for my Mons that can outspeed a Diggersby. Since I know he doesn't have Quick Attack now, I can just go for the Bullet Punch, as he does make the good play and go out into the Volcanion here, but that's fine. I'm just going to be able to switch my Scizor out. No Rocky Helmet or anything, more leftovers, which means that's, you know, it is what it is. I'll just be able to switch my Scissor out and go into the Ditto, expecting potentially a Steam Eruption or a Fire move, and he actually makes a very good read here, expecting the Ditto to come in and goes for the Toxic. And I actually see this set now, which is also very bizarre, and very, like, countering a Ditto kind of set. His only offensive move being Steam Eruption, so I can't click any offensive move. He's got Toxic, he's got, I believe he had Toxic and Willow, and I can check my notes, but his set was, if I recall correctly, let me just scout out my notes real quick. I usually write these down. It looks like I didn't write this one down. So whatever it was, his last move might have been Protect, it might have been Substitute. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it was one of those, like, okay, this is not a thing that Ditto wants to be in against, kind of Mons. But I can click Toxic here and try to get him whittled down, so I'm going to try to stay in and go for it as he does switch out into the Crobat, kind of expecting that because that's all I can really do to him, and my Ditto is going to start getting worn down by the Toxic. Now, at this point, I'm not going to let Ditto get any more weak. I do have Gardevoir. I see that he has Inner Focus, not Infiltrator, which is pretty good, as he does go for the Defog, which is a very good play on his part. I do still have my Stealth Rocker alive, so I can put those back up later. And he's going to U-turn off my Gardevoir. Again, I'm not too worried about that damage. If he had gone for the Cross Poison, then Psychic would have just taken him out. And we see that this Clefable takes a ton of damage from that Psychic, which I'm like, okay, so this is a physically defensive Clefable. Noted. But Nidoqueen should still be able to hit this incredibly hard with a Poison Jab. It should still kill from this range, so I'm just going to go for it. But I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to go for an Ice Punch here. Since I knew that he wished, if he'd gone into Crobat or Diggersby or Thundurus, I killed him straight up. Foongus survives, just super annoying. And you're going to see that Foongus gets all of his HP back from the Wish and is going to click Spore again since nothing's asleep right now. So at this point, I'm going to go to Ditto. I've got nothing left to do but just try to whittle down Foongus to the range where Ice Punch from Nidoqueen will kill it, or Psychic from Gardevoir, which is the other thing that I can definitely go into. So I'm just going to stay in with my Ditto here and keep spamming Foul Play, which does literally nothing to his Foongus, but he's going to spam Spore to try to catch any switch that I go for, as this is just where this battle goes haywire very quickly. Foongus ends up being just a huge nuisance for my team. So anyway, he's sporing me, I'm just foul playing. I could switch my Ditto out at this point to try to get some health back and preserve it and keep foul playing, but I know he doesn't have any, like, active recovery, but he always does have passive recovery in Regenerator, and he can always wish in with the Clefable, so I figure let me get a safe switch into something like my Gardevoir, which nothing really has a good switch into at this point in time, and I could just go for a Psychic and it's completely free. I could have Icy Winded here. That may have been a better play, but I figured Psychic was just so free, why not go for it? And we do 60% of the Thundurus. I choose to stay in on this turn, knowing that he's possibly Sludge Wave, but I do have the Kivia Berry. Flash Cannon would have been obviously much worse, but I am going to be able to take out the Thundurus with the Psychic, and that thing's going to go down, which is he only has now one thing that can take Psychics, which is the Clefable. I do choose to stay in with my Gardevoir as he goes for the Steam Eruption and misses my Gardevoir, so Volcanion now is in range of a second Psychic, taking it out, and I am going to go for it here as he is going to go down. So that Steam Eruption missing was a big deal. Now Gardevoir does have the Regenerator since it did switch in on the Foongus, but I choose to actually just go for a Moonblast on the Clefable as he actually opts to Wish here. So at this point I'm like, alright, there's really nothing, no reason for me to switch out. I kill him if he doesn't Protect, and he hasn't shown me Protect, so I'm going to just stay in and go for it. But now that he's healthy again, Gardevoir does have the Regenerator. It can come back in later in the game. But I'm really, with this special attack drop, I'm really not as worried about this Clefable. So I'm pretty sure this Gardevoir switches out at some point, but maybe I'm just wrong about that. And, you know, I end up just letting this Gardevoir go down. I can't 100% remember this battle. Again, it's so crazy. Yeah, there's the switch out into the Nidoqueen as he does just go for another Wish here. And he does have the switch into Foongus at this point. At some point, this battle becomes just trying to kill Foongus and it just surviving and getting huge wishes back from the Clefable. That Eviolite allowing it to take that. I can't let this thing get slept, so I'm going to go to Druddigon to actually let that eat the Spore here, as then I can switch out into something else to try to continue to hit the Foongus. But So Gardevoir is going to come in. I do get back the Regenerator at this point, and this thing threatens the Fungus. He is going to make a good play and go out straight into the Diggersby here, but I am going to do 50% with a Moonblast and just let my Gardevoir go down at this point, since I could have gone into my Druddigon, but I didn't really want to. Like hard like that, and so I do just allow my Gardevoir to go down. I saw Gardevoir outsped. Nidoqueen has the exact same speed stat, so I am able to go into my Nidoqueen here and go for the Ice Punch for free, which almost kills his Crobat. Now, if that had killed his Crobat, that would have been amazing, but instead it doesn't quite kill his Crobat. I do expect that he's going to Roost, but I don't have anything better. I don't have Earthquake on this Nidoqueen, so I can't really hit it with anything better than Ice Punch anyway, and it does under 50% when he Roosts, so I have to switch out into my Scizor at this point, and he does go for the Roost. Now, this is the biggest misplay of my entire career. Honestly, I go for the Swords Dance here, which is the correct play. That is 100% the play I should make, as he's going to go out into his Clefable. Now, him going to Clefable here means he's both unaware and probably has a Fire-type move, and I just ignore that, and I just go for the Bullet Punch. 100% of the time, the play is just, especially on that Protect right there, the play is just go Baton Pass into Nidoqueen, and I win the game right there. Nidoqueen wins straight up. Poison Jab still kills the Clefable, even without the boost from Unaware, and Flamethrower and Moonblast do nothing to me, and I OHKO everything left on his team. And I outspeed the Diggersby and the Fungus, and I don't take a hit from the Crobat. So that was a huge misplay. I really threw myself into a massive hole there. I could have just Baton Passed. I could have just gone to Nidoqueen, and I could have just won. But instead, I don't. And I'm stuck now trying to kill this Crobat, which again is healthy enough to somehow once again survive the Ice Punch, and we are stuck. He actually goes for the Defog, which probably was a big misclick on his part. Roost would have allowed him to, stall out for a little while, but he goes for the Defog there. I do actually end up killing the Crobat, and Fungus comes in here. I cannot let my Nidoqueen get Stun Spored, so I do go out into my Druddigon at this point, and here we go, guys. This is what you call endgame. What's Avengers Endgame? This is Endgame. This is when nothing happens for probably 15 turns. So I'm just going to try to talk over this and entertain you guys. But Dragon Tail breaks the sub. Thank God I woke up on that turn. After 2 3-turn sleeps, I get a 1-turn sleep, which is amazing. Goes out into the Clefable. I was forced to Dragon Tail again just in case he tried to set up another substitute, since my Rock Slide would not break that substitute. He's going to Wish as I do actually decide to Glare the Clefable, maybe forcing a full Para later in the game, or just Para-flinching with my Druddigon, which I'm now going to reveal to have... I'm not going to reveal Rock Slide. I'm going to Dragon Tail the Fungus into the Diggersby, which ends up getting the Wish to itself, which was way worse than the Fungus getting the Wish there, honestly. But I do decide I'm just going to go for another Glare and try to get this, or Dragon Tail and try to get this Diggersby out of here. Can't let him set up a substitute, so... I haven't revealed Rock Slide. The Clefable is something that my Nidoqueen can come in on safely. I know is full set, so I can just Poison Jab here. This is a very strange situation where I'm like, okay, I can Ice Punch or Poison Jab. It really doesn't matter. He's going to get the HP back with the Wish pretty much no matter what I just decided to do. And so I need to kill something on his team. He just has too many checks right now. Druddigon's going to go back to sleep again. And we are in this circle right now. Now, this is why... if we're on Wi-Fi, maybe he just timer stalls me, and that is what it is. On Showdown, that's not how it's going to go, so we're going to play this out. Return, I know, doesn't kill my Druddigon at all, and so I am going to be able to get some Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet, which is actually incredibly useful damage on his Diggersby, as I can't just hard switch into my Nidoqueen right there. He is going to switch out into the Clefable. As I do wake up, I click Dragon Tail for the potential substitute, and it's immune to it, so I can just switch out at this point and go into my Nidoqueen, which the Clefable doesn't threaten at all. As he is not getting fully paralyzed ever, and gets another big Wish up. If he had failed to get that Wish up, then who knows, but instead he goes right into his Fungus. I just click Ice Punch, and I crit him, which is amazing, but the Wish brings him back where he's out of range of another Ice Punch, and again, my Nidoqueen cannot go to sleep or I lose the game. So I am going to Ice Punch, predicting him to switch out, but he actually does stay in and go for the Spore, which was very free for him to do. I have to wake up on this Fungus. I really have no choice. He's going to Foul Play and do a little chip damage, and actually his Fungus is going to die since it doesn't get the Regenerator back, and I'm asleep for 1 turn. I need a 1-turn wake up here if I'm going to let my Nidoqueen win the game, but I actually don't wake up. He doesn't have the Earthquake, Return doesn't kill my Nidoqueen, and so I am going to get a second chance to wake up. I wake up, I click the Ice Punch, it kills the Diggersby, and the Clefable is the last mon left. Poison Jab does not kill from there, so I click it, and he gets fully paralyzed, and I am going to be able to win this game in one of the strangest endgames I've ever played. Both me completely misplaying. I win this game if I just click Baton Pass with Scizor. Clefable doesn't check my Nidoqueen at all. I have, at +2, I OHKO the Foongus, I OHKO the Diggersby, and I outspeed both of those, and Crobat doesn't threaten me at all with anything, so I win the game if I just click Baton Pass, and I don't really know why I didn't do it. It was part of my prep in team prep. It was why I had the Baton Pass, was specifically for that situation. I have no idea what in me was like, don't click it. There's just no reason not to. That's just game. I mean, I should have won that game, you know, 3-0 with the Scizor still alive. And having Scizor still alive with the Bullet Punch in the back would have been incredibly useful as well. Nidoqueen would have threatened the Clefable from the range it was at, even unaware, and I could have just clicked Ice Punch or Poison Jab or whatever I wanted to on the Clefable, and nothing was going to switch into that. So I have no idea what stopped me from doing that, but that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We do end up picking up the win, I should say. 2-0 victory over A12. This game was wild and weird, and his prep was amazing. He prepped around Ditto incredibly well, but Physical Nidoqueen proves to be a little bit too much and does still manage to pick up 4 kills despite, or I guess 3 kills since the Foongus died to burn damage, but despite this thing being, like, oh my gosh, despite me not playing correctly in a couple of situations, there was not a lot of hacks. Thankfully, there was that one full pair at the end, but you saw how many turns the Clefable didn't get fully paralyzed. If any one of those wishes hadn't gone through, that would have been, you know, pretty game-changing as well. So, what are you going to do? It is what it is. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you have never seen A12's content, I will have a link to in the description below for him. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time as we take on Mio and the Oklahoma City Thunderous. So, wow, that was quite a battle. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everybody.